Man, you know who it is, game-god-goldie, the one and only, on another special episode of Don't Hate the Player, Learn the Game. Listen, we got a special guest in the house. You know, she came through to bless the podcast and give us some insight on these women, how they think, and just some certain situations. Appreciate you coming on. Introduce yourself to the people.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate you. My name is Ashlyn Collette. I'm a fire dancer, model, actress, and I just started making music too, so getting into that. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Thanks for coming on. You know, a lot of women, they get scared to come on podcasts for whatever reason, you know. So you was comfortable, you stayed. So we gonna get into it. Let's talk about the fire dancer thing. That's interesting. You know, I like this a restaurant called Mila. They got the fire dancer, so that's what you do.
Yes, I do, except I do it for more private events, like mansion parties, sometimes like private club events, birthday parties, yacht parties, things like that.
Nah, that's dope. That's dope. You got to be real bold and confident to be playing with fire, you know, just because you want to do it. How you even get into that?
I literally saw somebody doing it and I was like, that is the sexiest, most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I have to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that. Okay. That just blew me away. I have to be that. So I just taught myself in my backyard. I just ordered a fire stick and just watched some YouTube videos and just started playing with fire. And I fell in love. Like when I light my batons and I just start dancing, I don't feel like anything else is happening. Like the world stops. I feel like I'm on fire.
Yeah. You got to be a different type of individual to just see somebody doing a fire show and be like, oh, I want to do that. I want to play with my life in that way. So tell me, you were talking about how you burnt yourself.
I did. I have scars to show it, all on my knuckles and my hands. This was one accident. There's obviously fire safety rules, and sometimes I just don't think that the rules apply to me.
Yeah.
But they do. And I went against them. You're not supposed to get your nails done before a performance because the nail polish is very flammable.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm in the middle of a performance. I got my nails done an hour before. I knew I wasn't supposed to, but I'm like, no, I'm good. I'll be fine. I was just getting really cocky, you know? Yeah. I had a really good streak of, great performances and, landing tricks and learning them quickly. And I was being cocky. And I was in the middle of a performance. I had about 2 minutes left, and the nail polish caught fire.
Yeah.
You couldn't see in my performance. I still went on, but I was burning. And my flesh was just melting.
And you continued the performance.
And I continued the performance because I was too embarrassed to stop and be like, okay, I have to put this out. And I also didn't want to freak people out. Like, people freak out if there's some sort of fire accident. So I just kept going. I'm like, okay, I'll be fine. I just kept going.
That's
By
crazy.
the end of it, I was freaking out. And I didn't know how bad it was until like 20 minutes after my hands started blistering.
So you didn't think, I'm going to catch on fire in here. You was just like, I'm going to just keep going. It'll be all right.
Yeah, pretty much. I was just like, the show must go on. I can't let anybody see I'm weak.
Hey, listen, more power to you. It couldn't have been me. I'd have stopped, dropped, and rolled, and it'd have been a big situation if I caught myself on fire. But that's what's up. The fact that you saw something you liked, went on YouTube, figured out how to do it, that's a testament to your mindset,
Thank you.
But let's get into the questions that people come and watch my podcast for. So as a woman, right? In this day and age where it seems like everything is so transactional, tell me how you feel about these women in Miami dating for money, not for love. What do you think about that?
Well, to be honest, I really keep to myself here.
Yeah.
I have a very small circle, and I have a lot of acquaintances and connections and people I know, but I don't really relate to these women out here or really anybody
Yeah.
because everybody's just so lustful,
Yeah.
you know? And I mean, I grew up in a small town. I believe in love. I don't want anything less than genuine love. And out here, it's just very much, what can you do for me?
Yeah, yeah.
What can I take from you?
Yeah. I see that. I see that often.
And a lot of women have normalized prostitution and, escorting, having sugar daddies.
Yeah.
And I meet nice people and then they tell me like, oh, yeah, well, my whole life is funded by a sugar daddy. And I'm like, okay, well, good for you. Hustle, girl.
Yeah.
Hustle, get that
Yeah.
money. But I'm just not that way.
No. Why not? Why not?
And I mean, I could.
Yeah.
I have lots of opportunities to do so, but I don't know. Something in me just really wants to feel love. And maybe, I don't really know. Maybe it's only on movies where it exists, but.
So you ain't been able to find real love?
Nah, I
No.
wouldn't say real love. I've been in love before, but maybe I was kind of stupid. I don't know if it was real love,
Yeah. Listen, this is my theory, right? I feel like all women, it's very small percentage of women who just want some money. I feel like most women can't find a man to love them, or it's not the dude that they want. So they're like, well,
So they go and use people
yeah.
for money
So I say,
because
well,
they can't find love.
if I can't
I've
get
noticed that
if
too.
I can't get the man that I want to love me, well, shoot, I'll just take anybody to make it worth
Whatever,
it. Let
I'll
me
go
get
be
some
a
money.
hoe. I'll go get a sugar daddy because I've tried to find love and
Yeah.
I can't find it.
You
Right?
tell me, why do you, I'm going to tell you what I think. Why do you think that it's so hard for women to find love? Because, I mean, you would think all of these women got all these dudes and they DM this, that, and the third, but they can't find a man to really love them, want to marry them. Why is it so hard for women who have all this attention to be able to find love or get somebody to want to love them?
I think it's because the dynamics in today's day and age have changed so much. And like, people just, men and females are not in their roles that they were, that are in our hormones and our genetics and like our, just within us. I think that a lot of men have become feminine and a lot of women have become masculine. And now it's just everybody butting heads instead of, flowing together.
So why do you think that men aren't, they'll be with a woman, but he don't really love her like that. He don't want to make her his girlfriend. He don't want to make her his wife. What is it about these women these days that make it hard to love them?
I don't know if it's so much making it hard to love them, but like they don't know how to love themselves because we've been conditioned by society to literally hate ourselves, hate everything about us, want to change everything about us. Society teaches you that, like, oh, you need a BBL to be beautiful. You need your lips done. You need to go get lots of money, wear chains. You need to have designer on. You need all of this to be like worth something.
Yeah.
That's what society has taught you. So everyone just hates themselves. Nobody's really, if you don't love yourself, you can't really attract the right love. So women have really lowered their standards and they're putting up with men doing the bare minimum, and men are doing it because they can get away with it.
Yeah.
And our parents didn't really teach us properly how to love because they didn't know how to love.
I agree with that. I feel like women these days are just not lovable. I meet a lot of women. They may look good, but their personality is like, they're not nurturing. They don't know how to really be a woman to a man. So it's hard for a man to be like, I could love this woman. I want to be with this woman. She looks good. I'll take her out on dates. We could have sex. But as far as loving a woman, I find it very hard to find women that are actually lovable. I mean, and you have women friends. Do you feel like, oh, this is a lovable person, I can't see why a dude doesn't love her?
The only friends I have, like I said, I have a small circle.
Yeah.
They are very lovable.
Okay.
And, if I was gay enough, I would
Yeah.
marry them myself. I love my friends, but I have a small amount, and that's because you're right. There's, I don't know, people didn't get loved as kids, so now they grow up not really being lovable.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. These women haven't gotten love, so they don't even know how to love.
Right, but it's your responsibility. If you went through some shit, everybody's gone through some shit. If you went and had a bad childhood, you have daddy issues, your dad left, your dad wasn't there, your mom wasn't there, or some abusive shit, whatever it was, like, it's your responsibility as an adult to heal that and figure out what you do want instead of becoming that or becoming worse. And I feel like a lot of people don't take responsibility for their own healing. And that's really the issue, is that everyone's so unhealed and they're just focused on trying to find relationships when they're not even loving themselves.
That's a fact. Let me ask you this. You were talking about if you wanted to go date a billionaire, you could date one right now.
I got options.
Yeah.
There's this one guy, he's loaded.
Yeah.
Loaded. And he's a nice guy and he's not bad looking, but I just don't feel that spark there. I don't feel like I want to be so in love where I just look at a person and I'm like, I can't stop smiling just by looking at them. I feel happy in their presence. I don't want to feel like I'm using somebody for their money.
Yeah.
I don't want to feel like I'm only there because of what they can do for me. Yeah. I want to be there because their presence alone is, magnetic. It makes me feel alive because I just love who they are without any conditions, without them doing anything for me, without me doing anything for them.
You a special type of woman, because I almost never hear that. I feel like a lot of people most women would be like, a billionaire, I'm gonna go mess with the billionaire. You saying, no, you want a connection.
I've thought about it. When I've been down bad, I'm like, he's offered to buy me my own penthouse, sports cars, businesses. He said he would do anything for me, and he's begged me for about 6 years to be with him and marry him. And and he's getting richer by the day too. Yeah. And I just can't. He's in Orlando. He hits me up all the time. Yeah. He has nothing but good intentions for me. Yeah. And
you don't feel like he wants you because he can't have you? And once he gets you, it's not going to be the same?
That could be a possibility, but I'm not even going to find out because I want to be in love. And that's... I know I could have the best life if I just went with him.
But is that the best life just because it's monetary and not actually... This is what I say all the time, right? Women get with these dudes that fund their whole lifestyle. And it seems good at first, but then you become dependent on this man, which means you got to maybe take abuse in ways that you may not want to. And eventually, if you don't work on yourself because you're getting something handed to you, you become weak like a spoiled child. You don't develop your own career. You don't develop your own thing. So therefore, you have to be relying on this man. So you really robbed yourself of building something up. Now you got to force to be with this man. And if he's a trick, well, when it's a younger woman that comes along, it's going to be the next woman, and now you ass out, or whatever he goes through financially, your life is going to be predicated on that.
Right.
Yeah. You agree? Do you think about that in your mind?
Yeah, I don't want to be dependent on anybody except myself and God.
I feel you. I say the same thing.
Because it can be taken away from me. I don't want it to be taken away from me. I've been in situations where I was dependent on a man and... he betrayed me and I was left with nothing.
Listen, I talk about this all the time. I call it gold handcuffs, right? You having this lifestyle, but it's being funded by somebody else. So it's conditions, it's rules, and it could be ripped away from you at any time. I feel like to be free, even if you don't have as much, is better than to have a great lifestyle, but it's with conditions. Ain't nothing better than freedom to me.
Right. And what I build myself, nobody can take from me.
Listen, and that's why when I get with a woman, I don't like to do much for a woman. Because if I start to lead with my hand, she's going to fall in love with my hand. I feel like when dudes lead with their money, you make the woman fall in love with the lifestyle, not really you. And then you got to keep that up. So The only way I know if a woman likes me for me is if we just doing regular things. We going to the park or maybe a dinner here and there. But I'm not trying to be extravagant with my money and my lifestyle to a woman, because then I don't know if she likes me or not. And I think a lot of these dudes don't even know they got a woman with them right now that really just like the lifestyle. And if he lost it all, they lose her too.
Right. I think low key they know that.
No, for sure,
You know?
for sure.
Like,
Deep down inside, they lead with their money because they feel like that's the best thing about
they
themselves.
don't think they're worth anything
Yep.
else.
I say it all the time, dudes and women, whatever you lead with, you think that's the most important thing about you. So women who lead with their sexuality, you thought that was the most important thing about you. Dudes who lead with their money, they think that's the most important thing about them. So therefore, you can't be mad when somebody wants you for something that you led with. You didn't lead with your personality, your game, your this, your that. So how can you be mad when that's what they want from you? So I try to go out my way to lead with me as a person, because like you, I don't want nobody around me just for my money. It just don't feel good to me. Like even like, you know, a beautiful prostitute, it's like, I can't even get into this. No matter how beautiful you are, I just can't. If you don't like me, if when I look at you, you ain't lighting up and smiling, it's like I get no feeling there.
Right.
Yeah.
There's nothing for your soul there.
Yeah, you know.
But there is a time and a place where you should be spoiling your woman. Like,
no, for sure.
you know, if they show that there's loyalty and that there's genuine love, then you spoil the fuck out of that woman.
Listen, I say it all the time. You spoil her if she loyal. You don't spoil her so she's
be loyal.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And dudes do it backwards. They don't understand.
They do.
Yeah, if a woman stays around and I know she's genuinely here for me, okay, yeah, she gonna get everything. But I feel like dudes jump the gun and they'll never know. I feel like sometimes the woman doesn't even know. You brought her into this great, grandiose lifestyle. She fell in love with that. She doesn't even really know that she don't really love you. It's the lifestyle she loves. And until you lose it, that's when, dudes lose all their money.
Until you lose it, or some guy with more money comes along.
Listen, I say it all the time.
Sweeps her off her feet.
You teach a woman what to value. So when you leading with this money, always talking about your money, always throwing your money around, you're training your woman to go to the dude with more money, and it's always going to be a dude with more money. But if you train your woman that we value character, integrity, these internal qualities, then a dude with more money doesn't have the same access to her, because you've taught her that we value different things. So when you throwing all this money around and always throwing it in her face, I feel like you're just training her to go to the next dude with more money.
Right. Absolutely.
Now, let me ask you this. You know, everybody talk 50-50. What do you feel like the 50-50 conversation? If you got with a man and he was like, man, I want you to move in, can you pay half the rent? Say you loved them. You got to a point where you love each other. Would you pay 50-50, or would you say, no, you got to pay everything?
This, I don't know. It really depends on the situation, in my opinion. I think that if there's a man who knows exactly where he's going, you can tell that he's disciplined, he is motivated, he has a plan, he is building his foundation. You can see clearly that he's going to make his dreams come true.
Yeah.
Okay, then you know what? Yeah, be there, do 50-50, help him achieve his dreams. And then once he gets there, then he'll probably take care of you, and you won't have to do 50-50 anymore.
And then you got a different type of spot with that man because you did something no other. See, if you have a woman at the house and she's just kicking her feet up, living a lifestyle, she's easily replaceable with any other woman. But when you're a woman who stayed down, helped put in your work, it's like it's a certain bond that you have with your woman that can't be replaced by any woman that just look good that come along.
Right, right.
See, most women don't say this. Most women do. They say.
But the thing is, if a man doesn't have a clear vision, he has no idea what the fuck is going on. He's doing all this dumb shit. Yeah. And you're going 50-50 with him. He's not helping you with anything. What are you doing? There's no reason for you. If he's fucking around, you shouldn't be doing 50-50. You shouldn't even be with them.
Right. Let me ask you this, right? Because a lot of times in life, women will get with men, you know, just to get supported, right? Do you feel like there's something wrong with that? Or you feel like, listen, if a man's willing to support me, you know, that's fair. You know, I should do that.
You know, I don't know. Everybody has their own journey and their own path that they are on. But I've learned the hard way that you should not depend on anybody but yourself and God, because, you know, it can be taken from you.
I agree. I say it all the time. If I had a daughter, I would teach her to rely on herself so she could pick the man that she liked, not the man that she has to have. As long as she's in a position where she can financially sustain herself, she could pick the dude that she likes, that treats her right, not the dude that's gonna, because he's paying for everything, he's gonna be able to have that type of control over you.
Right, right.
Oh, let me ask you this, right? Give the people some game. You know, it's called Don't Hate the Player, Learn the Game. Give these men some game that they don't know about women. Something that men are kind of oblivious to when it comes to women. What do y'all be thinking for real?
I think that a lot of guys think that women just want to use guys for money,
Yeah.
which can be the case sometimes with some women, but I think most of the time women just want to be loved properly.
I agree.
And then if they're loved properly, like, they don't mind going 50-50. They don't mind putting in all this work and effort and support and love and being loyal. Like, if you actually genuinely love your woman and you respect her on all levels and you show her that you can lead her properly to great heights, like, that woman will do anything for you. And guys think like, oh, she just wants me for my money, so I'm just gonna go around and treat all these women like shit. Like, women are actually very simple. We just want to be loved.
Listen, I'm glad you're saying this. I say this all the time. When you find a woman who really likes you for real, most of these dudes are not dealing with women who like them, though. That's what I feel. So they have to spend all this money because that's what the woman like. When you find a woman who really likes you, I've never found a woman that didn't like me, who was willing to do anything, stick with me through the down times, pay half if she needed to. But these dudes do not get women that they like. It goes back to the dude you said in Orlando who got all this money. He's chasing you. You don't like him. So if you were to get with him, you're going to be a woman with him that doesn't really like him. You're just there for that. And this is what these dudes do. So I got a game guy mentality course. And the number one rule is like who likes you. Instead, these dudes will chase a woman that they want, that's denying them, and deny the woman that actually likes them, that's all on them. It's like something in these dudes' minds, like a lack of self-love. Like, I call them masochists. These dudes chase these women that don't like them, then deny the woman that does like them. It's something mentally wrong. And how you start is how you finish.
It's because they don't love themselves. If you don't love yourself, you're not going to attract somebody who loves you. That's it.
Listen, the number 2 module in my program is self-love. Everything comes from self. When you love yourself and hold yourself to a certain standard, then anybody who comes in has to see you and treat you at that standard. But when you don't have self-love, then people could come in and treat you however. So it's like you were saying earlier, that's where everything starts with.
Right. And I've been in like the position where I hated myself. I was so insecure. I was so down bad. I was so broke. I was so just broken and unhealed. And I just was useless, really. And so that's what I was attracting. And I didn't realize it because I wasn't even giving it any thought, you know?
Yeah.
And later down the line, when I was being treated really badly, I'm like, well, why is this happening? I know I'm not a bad person. And then it just came down to like, well, if I loved myself enough, I wouldn't be putting myself in this position.
That's a fact.
I thought I was so madly in love.
Yeah.
You know, but I wasn't. I was just looking for the love I wasn't giving myself.
Yeah. That's what it is. People are trying to fulfill something inside of themselves that's missing. And when you do that, you're looking outside for something. You're going to go for anything, with not even just a significant other, even like your friends. When you're not fully fulfilled in yourself,
partnerships,
you're gonna let people do whatever just to have somebody around. I feel like the biggest superpower is to love yourself so much you could be by yourself. Because if you enjoy being by yourself, you'll never have people that aren't good for you around just because you need somebody. I see it with a lot of these dudes. They're looking for emotional support in a woman, so they can't be by themselves. So therefore, they take abuse in different ways or deal with a woman who don't really like them because they don't like to be by themselves.
Relationship, and Yep.
That's why I feel like you got to love you. It's a good time when I'm by myself. So the only women that I attract are women who add to the situation. A woman can't get with me and it just be the same. If she's not bringing something better to the situation when she's with me, I'd rather be by myself. But most dudes don't feel like that.
And that should be for both.
That should be for everybody.
A woman should feel that. A man should feel that.
I feel like when two people come together like that, the situation is going to be so great because you're not looking for something in them. So you looking to take something, you looking to give to the situation. If two people coming together trying to give something, it's a much better situation. Anytime you're relying on somebody for something, they can manipulate that. If they know that you need them and you're dependent on them, now they can play with you in that way. So,
Facts.
Easier said than done to love yourself. I grew up.
It's a hard journey.
I was loved as a child, so I don't really understand how these dudes, are feeling. So I didn't even really realize
God bless
it.
your parents.
I don't know.
Not a lot of people are blessed with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't have an easy childhood. I was not taught how to love properly, but I saw that and I was like, that's not what I want. I don't want to become that. I want love. And even if I've never witnessed it, I'm going to find it. And I'm going to find it within myself. And people just don't do that. They see what they were taught and they just lead with that.
Nah, that's a fact. Let me ask you a question. Who cheats more, men or women?
I think that men do because it's more normalized, or at least it's more in the open that men cheat. Like women more secretly cheat,
Yeah, but based on what you think, do you think women cheat more?
No, I think men cheat more.
Yeah.
I do.
Women get caught
I've
less.
Met a lot of different people, and I've heard of more women getting cheated on. Actually, pretty much every woman I've ever met has been cheated on, and I've not met every single guy who's been cheated on,
Or at least they don't know. Okay, let's segue to that too, right? So you say women always get cheated on. Do you feel like it's in a man's nature to cheat? Do you feel like a man can be faithful?
I don't think it's in a man's nature to cheat. I think that, people say, oh, it's in their nature, but really they're talking about animals. Animals don't have the soul, the mind. They have souls, but they just think differently. They don't have the discipline that humans have. So really, we're not like animals. We're not bred that way.
So you feel like a man could be faithful?
Absolutely. I think that it really just comes down to a man loving himself on a certain level. And if he doesn't fully love himself, he's going to try and find that love in different coochies.
You think dudes find love having sex, or you feel like a man could have sex and not even think about that woman anymore?
Everything is a soul tie. And energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It's scientifically proven. Energy flows everywhere. Energy is everything. This chair is vibrating right now. We can't even see it. It's energy.
Right. The fact on quantum level, right? So
if you're literally connecting body parts, that energy is going into each other.
Yeah.
Whether you think that you are feeling nothing or not, you are getting an energy exchange. You're taking on those traumas that person has. You're taking on all those partners that person has been with. You're taking on all their insecurities, but you're also taking on all the good things too. But there's a lot of bad shit that you take on from other people.
So if you had a man, he took care of everything, treated you right, loved you right, built with you, y'all got a great connection, and he had sex with women from time to time, but it didn't mean nothing, would you break up with him because of that and negate all the great things he's doing, all the money he's providing, all the experience that you guys have together? Would you say, oh, that's that big a deal that I'll break up this whole relationship about that?
I told you I could be with a billionaire right now and have my whole life taken care of.
Yeah.
I want loyalty and love instead. Like, I wouldn't want to be, but listen, here's the thing, like, I can't believe I'm saying this on a podcast, but I'm kind of bi. I would say I kind of like girls. So like if my man wanted to have like 3 ways or something, that's fine with me. If he's holding it down and he's leading me to a great place and he's loving me 100% and I am the number one woman, like I'm okay with bringing in another girl, but I don't want no polygamy shit. Like, I don't want a girlfriend. I don't want any dating type shit. But if we want to have fun every once in a while and my man's taking really good care of me and loves me, like, why wouldn't I want to do that? But that's just because I'm a little bit gay.
Yeah.
And not every woman is like that.
I think most
And I
women
don't
are
think
a little
that
gay.
I'm right for thinking that. This is just my own personal view. And
So y'all can have a three-way.
but that would
he
have to
can't-
be
he
with a
can't go
great
out.
man. Like,
Yeah.
that's not with just
So
some
for
any
a great,
guy.
for a
No.
great man,
A really great man.
a
like,
woman would make some concessions.
and if she's a little gay.
Yeah.
No, I'm not like everybody, though. So
Hear that?
this is...
Get you a woman that's a
not-
little gay. A man takes you out on a date. Agree, he initiated the first date. He saw something in you, so he wanted to take you out. He pays for the dinner. Let's say you like him. You go on a couple dates. At what point, if any, would you say, I'm going to pay for this date? Or do you feel like the man should always pay for the date no matter what?
99% of the time, guys will just always pay for me if I'm going on a date, but I don't even date that much, so... But I've paid, and also if I get into a relationship, I spoil the fuck out of my man.
My goodness, this is the best
I
guest I've
love
had.
to spoil my man.
yeah.
If a man treats me good, I'm gonna treat him like 10 million times better. Like, and that's the secret. Like, if you pour into a woman, women are multipliers. We are going
Facts.
to multiply whatever you give us. If you give us a house, we're gonna give you a home. If you give us sperm, we're gonna give you children. If you give us money, we're going to multiply it if they're the right woman, you know? And if a man is pouring into me, I am going to go to the edge of the world to just make him happy and do surprises for him.
You see
you
this
know?
when a woman really likes a man and got a certain type of character, she wants to reciprocate. Because I always talk about a lot of women, you know, even if they got a lot of money, they feel like, nope, the dude, you got to pay for this, he got to pay for that. And they really stingy with their money. They really selfish. A lot of women are selfish. They don't want to reciprocate. It's human nature to reciprocate. So when I find a woman who doesn't want to reciprocate, or I got to tell her to reciprocate, to me, it reeks of poor character. Because as a human being, as a man, nobody has to tell me somebody does something to me, I do it back. If it's your birthday today, or if it's your man's birthday today and you get him a gift and tomorrow's your birthday and he don't get you a gift, you'd be upset, right?
Yeah, but that's just with anybody.
But I'm using that as an example that women will allow a man to take him on 10 dates, take him on 10 vacations, buy him 10 gifts, and the woman won't even think to say, oh, let me do a gesture in reciprocation.
I think that's because they've probably like been hurt before and taken advantage of by a man.
Would you say that's poor character, or would you say that's just how women have been trained to be?
Probably both.
Both.
Society and the media is doing a good job on training people to be a certain type of way.
No, that's for sure. That's 100%.
So how do you feel about polygamy?
Polygamy, like I was saying earlier, I'm not going to be a girlfriend. Okay, so this is actually really funny. Let me tell you guys a story. I was walking my little chihuahua in Brickell like 2 months ago, just minding my own business, taking a beautiful walk at night, and the most handsome, buff, tall, dark, and handsome guy comes up to me. And it was actually on Valentine's Day. I was alone, walking my dog. I didn't have any Valentine's Day plans. And I thought, oh, well, he's out, you know, on his own too. He must not have a woman either. He asked me out on a date. He was literally the most stunning guy. Like, I was blown away that he even came up to me. I was like, oh my gosh, like, he was perfection. He was. And we went on a date. He asked me out. I went the next day, and it went so well. We were having a great time, and everything he said was just like making my heart throb. And then I'm joking around just to make conversation, right? Just to keep things going and keep it light and funny. And I'm like, so you got any kids, baby mamas, wives, girlfriends? You know, I'm just joking around because like at this point I felt like we had connected deeply and he had told me personal things. He didn't mention anything about any of that.
Yeah.
And I was joking, but he answered truthfully and he was like, yeah, I do. And I was like, oh.
You do what?
He had 2 girlfriends who lived with him. And he, after that, said that he really liked me and he wanted me to become the 3rd and go live with them.
Yeah.
So 3 girls, 1 guy.
And you liked him a lot, though.
I did, but like, and I actually considered it because I was like, I really like this guy.
Women who like you a lot will consider a lot of things.
But I was like, ultimately, and he was perfect. Like, you could look at him and you're like, that's literally a Vogue model. That's like, that man was chiseled by the Greek gods. And the way he talked and his demeanor, just like his attitude, his mindset, he was rich. And I didn't know he was really rich until like, deeper in the conversations. But just everything about him was super great.
And
but
but you considered it. He was so great of a man that you considered it.
I thought about it and I continued the date, but there was just something in me that thought like, I couldn't live with 2 other females.
What if he said, you know what, you ain't got to live with us. You could live where you live and you don't got to be in the household. Would you have considered it more?
I don't know. I don't know.
It's not that it wasn't a no, though.
I am a little bit selfish in the way where I just like, I want it to be us. And, if we're going to, since I'm a little bit gay, I wouldn't mind having a 3-way with the right man. But I don't want a girlfriend. I don't want another wife. I don't want another soul, like intimately deep partner. But if we want to have fun every once in a while, that's fine. But just nothing like, I don't know. So polygamy is just a little bit weird to me. It's like there's so many.
So if he would have said, listen, you ain't got to live in a household. You don't got to see the girls. But that's what I got going on. But I still want to be with you. Would you have considered that?
I don't think it would.
Even though he's a unicorn, you like him a lot. You think he was chiseled by the Greek. Listen, and let me say this, right? If a woman don't feel like this about you, you got the wrong woman. You need to have a woman who feels like how she felt about that man. But anyway, so even as great as he is, you wouldn't take that, even though it's going to be another guy that you get with who probably going to cheat on you and lie about it anyway.
If he said like, hey, I'll move you in and they can just come by whenever they want, then maybe.
Oh, but tell me this, though. Would you respect a man that has 2 women that would meet, that's been there for a while, probably doing things for him and with him, that he's built something with? Could you respect a man who would meet a new woman and move those 2 women out to move you in? How would you be able to trust and respect a man that would do that?
Exactly, I couldn't. So obviously I didn't pursue him. Yeah. I told him, look, you're amazing, but ultimately I think that there would be a problem later down the line and I just can't do this. And he wanted me. Like, he was ready to move me into his big, beautiful mansion with his girlfriends, like, and just take care of my whole life. And I just couldn't. I want to be number 1. If we're ever gonna have another woman in our life,
she gotta be number 2.
She's not even another number. She's just there sometimes when we want her, and that sounds really bad and kind of like male of me. But like,
you don't feel like that's selfish? That this is such a, if you think he's a great man, he's a top 0.001% rich, attractive, on his health kick, got the right body. He is such a prize. Do you feel like, since it's so few of him, that you deserve to be the only one with him? He's a prize. It's like, it's not even enough for him to go around.
So am I, though. So yeah. Like, I deserve other men then.
Oh, that's what you think?
If we're talking like that, then that's...
Would you want that, though?
No.
So you're just saying it.
I wouldn't want that. I don't, but that's why I said my case is a little bit unique. I'm not like other people very much, but
let me ask you this, right? Because it seems like you say all the right things. You got good character. You got a different type of mindset that most men would love, right? Why are you single?
Well, most men kind of suck. I would agree. I mean, you grew up in a good household. You said you were loved.
I didn't say good household, but yes, I was loved.
Okay, well, you were loved.
Yeah.
Most guys didn't grow up being loved, so they don't know how to love. And I'd say 95% of male interactions that I have with guys, like, they disrespect me.
Yeah.
No matter what I'm wearing, I could be modest, I could be dressing slutty, I could be poised, or I could be acting crazy. No matter what, they're going to just disrespect me automatically.
Yeah.
Just because that's who they are.
When you say disrespect you, like, what do you mean?
Just come at me some inappropriate, nasty kind of way. Like,
Yeah.
saying some comments or making,
Dudes are super thirsty, aren't they?
Right,
Super
and,
thirsty, sexual all the time, right?
And that's fine. If I'm with a man, I want him to be like that. But I
not on
don't
the
want
first
to be
initial-
approached like that.
Tell these dudes, listen, that's a great topic. Tell these dudes how to approach a woman like you. What's the line to say and what's the lines not to say? So don't
Dang.
come up to you on no sexual type
I
time.
love a guy that just honestly acts like a friend at first.
Yeah.
Like just wants to be my friend. Doesn't make any, like, they can say I'm beautiful, that's fine, but doesn't make any weird sexual comments. Like, a lot of these guys just
sexual
will come up
comments-
to you and they'll just be like, damn, that's bad. Let me get inside your pussy. Like, disgusting shit. Like this one guy, he came up to me and he's just like, oh, I know you would take it from me. I know I could bend you right over there on that fence.
This
Like,
how these
I'm
dudes
just like,
coming?
you really think that I would do that for you?
That's crazy that these dudes think those type of pickup lines work. Oh, so what's a good pickup line for you?
Dang, I don't know. It's so rare that I actually get them.
What?
That's something to think about.
So dudes
Good
aren't
pickup lines.
Oh, good pickup
Yeah.
lines?
Bad ones every day.
This is what I think, and tell me if you think that I'm wrong, right? I feel like it don't really matter much what the dude's saying. Unless he say something crazy off the wall like that. I feel like if you're attracted to the dude, he ain't really got to say nothing but hello, and I'm interested. Or you
Well,
feel
like
like he
that
got
one guy I told you that I really liked before.
Yeah, what did he
come in.
say? What did he say to you?
I was walking my dog, and he first complimented my dog. And he was like, wow, that's the cutest little chihuahua. And then he went up to her, and she was like loving all over him. I'm like, oh, my dog likes him.
He a smooth player.
she approves of him. So, and then he just was asking questions about my dog, and then it started leading it to me. But being really casual, not like forcing anything, not being, creepy or weird.
And
It was just really casual. Like,
and it
that's
helped-
what women want. It's just like to feel like they can let their guard down, like to feel safe. Like, because there's a lot of, how women are picking the bear over the man, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's because a lot of men are dangerous and creepy and,
When you say the bear over the man, what do you mean by that?
You haven't heard that?
No.
You really haven't heard that?
No, I
oh my
haven't.
gosh. Well, everyone's saying, like, they're asking women, would you rather be stranded in the forest with a bear or a man?
Yeah.
And women are saying the bear.
That's crazy. What?
Because a bear doesn't know any better. It's just going to kill you. A man will rape you, beat you up, manipulate you, steal from you, hurt you, speak nasty things to you, and then kill you.
Man, a lot of these women have a lot of trauma. Is that really how women out here think?
I mean, a lot of women have actually been through stuff like that.
Yeah, well, I guess I'm not a woman, so I didn't know that's how women out here think. Let's talk about what we were saying earlier about, you said it's an epidemic of lonely men.
Oh, yeah, the male loneliness epidemic.
I've never heard of that.
You haven't heard of that either?
I'm not a lonely man, so I wouldn't know.
You're right. All right, that's
So
fair.
explain it to me.
Well, apparently there's a male loneliness epidemic going around. It's just like where men are more lonely and depressed and single than ever.
Yeah.
And women are kind of going against it like, well, if men are naturally supposed to be leaders, then why are they just not leading with love? Why are they just claiming to be all lonely instead of stepping up to the plate and attracting the love that they want? Like, women are just kind of calling it pussy behavior.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for me to relate to that, but I can see it. I feel like I tell dudes all the time, you're trying to attract a woman at such a low level, you shouldn't even be trying to date right now. You should be working on yourself and build yourself up. And on a higher level, you'll attract a higher level woman because you're going to attract a woman on a level that you should be surpassing in life. A lot of dudes, I feel like if they just worked on it, I do coaching. So I tell dudes all the time, they keep on talking about these women. I say, man, you got to fall in love with yourself first. And how do you do that? By working on yourself, by getting in the gym, by working on your business. Fall in love with building yourself. And that's going to become so attractive to women. Your aura is just going to be different. And you're going to have to fight women off because men like that are so far and few between.
Right. Like when a man loves himself, it's like you can see it.
Yeah.
And that's when they don't even have to really say nothing. Like you feel that energy.
Hey,
but guys don't really, a lot of guys don't get that. So
I had a woman on here and she was asking me, she was like, are you ever single? I was like, I couldn't be single if I wanted to. And she was like, why? It sounds like you have a dependency issue. I said, no, I just love myself so much. And what I have inside of me is something that most people in life, men and women, are missing. They're looking for something on the outside of them to fulfill themselves. But I'm so internally fulfilled, it overfloweth, and women could just sense that. So it's like, even if I wanted to be by myself, I couldn't do it because just something about my energy just attracts women because I got that thing that everybody's looking for. So I feel like you got to work on yourself and love yourself, and then you attract what you vibrate. You know what I'm saying? So if you love yourself, you're gonna attract women to love you. That's why I don't get it with these dudes.
well, if you're filling your cup so much that it's overflowing, like you have plenty to give.
Exactly.
And if you're not filling your cup and you're just meeting somebody half empty, then
you thirsty because guess what? You
Yeah,
looking for
you
something in the
thirsty.
and women hate a
Exactly.
thirsty man. Women hate a thirsty man. These dudes go to the club, they got all these one-liners. They so thirsty. I go out, I'm chilling, I'm enjoying myself, and me enjoying myself always just attracts a woman to me.
Yep.
Tell 'em.
The guys that are the most attractive are literally the ones that are just like,
Hey, listen, she's giving you some
they're doing
game
their
right
thing.
now.
They're not doing anything, and that's what makes women want them. Like they don't have to do anything. They sit there and they are masculine, and a woman can feel that. And like, there's these other guys that are just coming up to the girls like 24/7 and just being so needy and like it's a little bit feminine.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, and I feel like too, women don't like that either, right? So if a woman's talking to you and thinking y'all might be in a relationship, she remembers how you caught her. So like if a dude is tricking or a dude is super thirsty with you, you're gonna be thinking like, this is the type of man I'm gonna have, and when he's outside, he's gonna make me look
Right.
stupid because he's super thirsty. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
So would you date Kanye?
Yeezy.
No, I wouldn't. He's I can tell that the way that he treats his wife is just a little bit belittling. I feel like, I don't know, if he really loved her, he wouldn't be really displaying her like that. And I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with it if she wanted to be displayed like that, but she doesn't seem like she wants to. It seems like more forceful and like she's just doing it because she wants to make him happy. But she doesn't ever seem happy, you know? And it's a little bit disrespectful for him to make her wear these outfits out in public and just show her whole body to everybody. Like, do you even love your woman if you want everyone to experience her?
Do you think a man can make a woman do anything she don't want to do?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. A lot of women just, you know, if they weren't loved properly growing up, then they're going to look for that in a man and they'll do anything
But don't
for
you
that guy
think that
to feel that love.
that because she's getting all this money from this man, she'll do anything because she wants to be with a billionaire, famous guy?
Some women, yeah, they just want money.
So she has no responsibility in it. It's him making her do these things.
I mean, we don't really know.
Yeah.
We don't know them personally. But
Yeah.
as somebody who has been manipulated by a man and has done anything for them and they didn't deserve it,
How did he manipulate you?
that's a whole other story.
Well, give us just put a pin in a couple.
Okay, well, at first it starts with love bombing. And when you're young and dumb and you just want love, you just think like, oh, well, he just loves me. You're not
So
thinking
love bombing, just doing a lot of stuff for you, buying you flowers.
being really extravagant right when you meet and acting and being over the top, not being who you really are. Showing, like, spoiling a woman to get her hooked. And then as soon as she's hooked,
That is some game.
then you start treating her how you actually are.
That
And-
does work.
And since she was used to all the nice things and the love and the spoiling, she's going to hold on to that. And
Yep.
as soon as you start slowly letting go of that and showing her true colors, she's going to stay because she thinks that's who you were, the guy in the beginning. And she's going to always hope that you just go back to that guy. But then he just stops, and starts doing less and less and less and hurting you more and more and getting away with way more worse stuff. And you're just hooked because you're holding on to that hope from the beginning.
No, I agree. It was a thing back in the day that used to say, man, you got to put your hooks in women, So like you say, love bombing is a hook, different things. And if you get enough hooks in a woman, you know that you're going to have her for a long period of time. So
Right.
I know those tactics. And, dudes always lead with a fake persona, so they going to lead in a certain way that hooks the woman. And then when he finally shows who he truly is, because you can't put up a front forever, then the woman starts to be a little resentful, but she love you, so she's not gonna leave you. So that's when the disrespect come in. Now she got attitude, and I
But
feel
she's
like
just accepting all the shit he's doing
Yeah.
because she wants to believe that he was that guy.
that's why I tell dudes all the time, man. When that woman start to get disrespectful, not that you accept it. Sometimes you got to understand because she was bamboozled, she was fooled. You started a certain way, but now she
Right.
loves you, so she can't leave you. So now she's being disrespectful. So it's not always the woman's fault.
Right.
Let me ask you this, right? Does body count matter? Do you feel like that makes a difference? Because dudes, they always asking what's a woman's body count. They want a woman with a low body count. Do you feel like body count matters
I guess it depends on who you ask. Everybody has different points of views on it.
for you?
For me,
Yeah.
I mean, if you have like 5,000 bodies, then I'll be a little bit concerned and scared. But I feel like a lot of people go through hoe phases, and I feel like a lot of people go through times where they are lost and just,
Yeah.
find themselves in a lot of different people. I'm pretty accepting if somebody has a high body count, but
You don't think
don't
that changes the way a woman thinks? Having multiple partners makes it harder to make a bond with one partner because you've had so many experiences?
well, it really just depends on the strength of the man. If he can cut all those soul ties, then it really doesn't matter. If he's healed from that perspective he had on life before, then it doesn't matter. But if he's somebody that's still just, all over the place, then, I mean, to me, it defines your character a little bit.
Right.
I think a disciplined man doesn't need to be in a new coochie every single day.
Yeah, I feel like that's the type of character a person has to be wanting to do that. So even for a woman who got a large body count, that somewhat signifies her character.
Poor spiritual hygiene,
Yeah.
because like I said earlier, it's an energy exchange every single time you're with somebody new. And like I said, there's phases. Everybody goes through phases. That's fine. But I don't know.
The mind of a woman who goes out and sleeps with random men at the club when she's drunk, it signifies a certain character that she has.
She
You know?
hates herself.
Yeah. She doesn't have any self-worth because she's finding the worth in a man laying down with her. So it's kind of like for women like thirsty energy, and nobody wants a woman who's like thirsty and easy like that. You want a woman who's not
Right,
easy.
but women don't really want a guy like that either, We don't really want a guy that's,
What, thirsty?
yeah. But
No, I get it. But a man who has a lot of options signifies that that's a man of high value because a lot of women want him. But I get what you're saying. So tell me this, since you're a woman, women are sneaky. Women have different sides to them. Everybody likes to think that women are these perfect, delicate creatures. Tell me something, one of the worst things you've heard a woman do that shows just the character that women are just like men.
my gosh. Okay. Well, this one girl told me a story about how her ex cheated on her. They were together at the time.
Yeah.
He cheated and she found out and she didn't say anything. But she decided to get back at him so he asked her to come over, right? So
Yeah.
that they can,
Yeah.
And so she decides to take a shit before she goes. And when she gets there, she has him eat her ass with the shit on it. She didn't wipe. She didn't wipe the shit. She said she took a shit and did not wipe purposely, and then made him eat her ass. And he just kept going, and he was enjoying it, apparently, she said.
Wow.
And then after that, she went home and blocked him and never talked to him again. And he just had a mouthful of shit and no girlfriend.
That is foul. But you know what? To me, that speaks volume of a woman who would take a shit and not wipe. I don't even know how you can do that. So
that's vulgar. I mean, I'm not a person who cares about getting revenge. The revenge is that you will never have access to me again. I'm not going to go do all that.
That's damn near
but
like
she was bold for that. Good for you, girl. Like that.
Oh, and you applaud that behavior.
I mean, if that's her journey, that's her journey. I would never do it. But you know,
hey, you see
it's
that?
A funny story to tell now.
Not only did the woman do it, but another woman applauds behavior like that. Stay safe, stay woke out here.
I mean, are you applauding the guy for cheating on her?
No, I don't.
After he said he would be faithful, like
I definitely do.
They didn't have an agreement to be with other people, and he went against what they agreed to. So
it's just whatever she feels like doing.
I don't know, but I don't know. I don't think revenge is okay. I think that she took it too far. But I just think it's funny. So you know what?
That's crap. I've never
shit
heard
on him,
like
girl.
Do you approach men?
Yeah, if I think that a guy would be worth my time, I'll approach him. I don't mind like doing it first, but that doesn't mean that I don't want to be pursued. Like I want a man to swoon me and want to win me over. Yeah. But I'll go like I'll reach out first, or I'll go up to him first if I feel like there could be something.
Do you feel like most women would approach a man first for the dude that they really see some value in?
I don't know, because some girls are like, well, a guy should just do it all. Yeah. Like a guy should just approach me. Like if he wanted me, he would. Like, but sometimes it's not always the case. Some guys just don't want to be creepy. Some guys are just nervous. Some guys just don't want to bother you. Some guys just need that little extra confirmation that you want them. Like, but a lot of girls are like, nah, he has to do it first.
Do you think a relationship is always better when the woman approaches the man, or you think it's better when the man approaches the woman?
I'm not an expert in that. No. But
okay, the relationships that you got into when you approached the man first, were those better than the relationships when a man approached you?
You know, I'm kind of finding out that yeah.
So when you approached the man, those relationships always worked out better. You see what I be saying all the time? Get chose, don't do the choosing. When a woman sees value in you, that's a better start. How you start is how you finish. This is what I say. If I'm trying to chase a woman down and spit all these lines at her to get her, I chased her to get her, and then I got her, but I'm supposed to leave. How can I start chasing you, then get you and turn around and say, now it's my turn to lead? I feel like it's better when a woman comes to the man and sees him a value, because the dynamic is correct. She saw a value in me and she's ready to let me lead her, because how we started and how you start is how you finish.
But like, you know, if a woman chooses to pursue you first, that doesn't excuse a man from not doing any work to date her. Like if a woman approaches you, she wants you to still
No, I agree. I agree. I'm just saying the initial, just the value. Yeah,
for sure.
Especially a lot of times too, if you chasing a woman trying to get her, it's like you're trying to convince her to deal with you. If I got to convince her to deal with me, then I don't want her to deal with me, because she don't really want to deal with me. I want to deal with a woman who, when I saw her and she saw me, her eyes lit up, my eyes lit up, and it's like a mutual, situation. You know, because if I got to convince her today to like me, I got to convince her tomorrow. I got to do these big dinners, all these big trips. I got to do all these things. That's an exhausting relationship.
And usually it's like it is the guy pursuing the woman first. And I feel like I lost my train of thought.
The only type of women that I like to deal with are the women who see me the way you saw that one guy walking the dog. You see how you was talking about this beautiful man crafted by the Greek guy? The way that you was feeling about that man is the only type of woman I deal with.
But you know what is crazy, actually? I saw him before he came up to me, and I looked at him and I gave him the eyes, like, you know, like
choosing signals.
I looked at him and I was like, you know, I looked him up and down and I smiled and I like flipped my hair, looked back.
If you ask me, you was
So
choosing.
I was choosing him first, and then he felt welcome to come up to me. But
See that?
So that's funny how that worked. But
I say all the time, like when women go to the club or wherever, it's a man in that club that she think in the back of her mind, like, damn, that man is fine, right? And I always say, the only woman I want is the woman who thought that about me. If she ain't think that about me, I don't even want her. I feel like you can't really force anybody to like you. All right, we'll wrap it up here. You got anything else to say?
follow me on Instagram. I'm Ashlyn Colette.
And if they want to book you for a fire show, where do they got to find you at?
You can DM me on Instagram or check out my website and my link in my bio. You can also catch me on Love and Hip Hop season 7 and 8.
Word.
Yes.
That's what's up.
All
I'm going to tune in.
right.
I don't even watch shows like that because you on there. I'm going to tune in.
All right. Period.
Appreciate you coming on. And that's another episode of Don't Hate the Player.
Learn the game.
We out.